culture, anything for celebration or festival, we always try to use the red paper, red color of paper. Because red represent happy. Of course, in a lot of other cases, red also represent danger. We don't come close. But most of the time, represent happy, joy, and prosperity. Especially in Chinese, the red is the color of Chinese. Okay. So last time I talked about how to fold the paper. I'm going to do that one more time today. So all depend on how many words we want to write on the piece of paper. So if we want to write, for example, most of the time, the Chinese poetry for celebration, we try to use in the very old day, but today they are not that serious on that. In the very old day, if a celebration, stuff like that, normally they try to use even count, not even number, like 4 on each side. So when they make up even, it's better that way, okay? But nowadays, a lot of people, they don't have that. Because even number, like 4, 6, 8, in writing the poetry or creating the poetry, for certain difficult degree. Because they're using a different story or precedent from the past to apply to the poetry. So therefore you have like 5, 7, or 9. So that's why more people using the odd number. So if you want to write a 7 character on a piece of paper like 4 feet. So what we are talking about, a side of this kind of paper, we call the 4 feet paper. Meaning vertical is 4 feet. Like about, normally they are about 46 or 48 inches. In metric, it's about 163 cm or 100, is it 163? Yeah, something like that, 160, no, 140 or 146, I forgot. So those are the full size of the 4 feet. I will find out later. But when we cut it in half, we call 4 feet in half. That means we cut it into half, like this. So if we want to write 7 characters on each side, so we fold it in half and then half. That way they already have 4. And you fold it again means 8. But when you open it up, you don't write on each spot. You write on the line, the folding line. That means mean becomes 7. Okay? So let's do it one time. Half, and put in half, mean 4 now. We are going to put it in another half, mean 8. But when we write, we don't write on the spot, we write on the line. So if 8 you write on the line, means only 7 characters, right? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Normally, when we write, we leave quite a bit of space on the top and the bottom. We don't write all the way. So therefore, if you want to make it only 6, so you can write on the spot, the second spot, and it becomes 6. So the other way, if you want to write 5 characters, you can fold it in half, and then you fold it in 3, like this way. So this is 6, and we write on the line, become 5. Got it? Everyone got it? Now we are going to write 5 characters on a piece of paper like this. A half cut of 4 feet paper. We first fold it in half. And then we fold it in 3. So here is, we have enough spot for 5 character. Everyone got it? Right? Now, we want to make a center line. Then you fold it in half this way. Everyone follow? So you don't write on the spot. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the center line. Now, if you want to have the effect of the cross like this way, you can do the same thing. How can you do it? You need to fold it in a diagonal. Unless you think, oh, I do need that for too easy to follow, all you need to do is put it back here, like that. Okay? Now, you fold it diagonal from the center point to the corner. You fold it this. And then you fold the other side again, then you will see the difference. Okay? And nothing wrong to do that, even though if some of the thing that I need to do it at home, sometimes I do that too. But when you do it many times afterward, then you get used to it, then you don't need to do that. Otherwise, a lot of master. Now I want to show you. Now you only get, if you fold only one side, you only get here and here, but you don't get this one, like a cross. Am I right? So you need to do the other end. Now we fold it this way, and we go the other eye. Folding the paper is one of the knowledge every one of us needs to know. Now, you get all across. Just like the paper that you buy right now at home to write. And you can make sure that you get everything in the center and on the center line. But what bad about this? The bad is when you writing on it, some of the area is folding that inside, the ink might not get through. You might see a white line a little bit. That's the drawback. Okay, so but from the beginning, everyone have to go through that. But if the line is not that very short, you can use a little bit ink later on to keep it up. But if it's big, don't worry, let it go that way. So everyone understand about this? Okay. Now I'm talking about the rules now. Let me borrow Judy. Now when you write the Chinese poetry, we have to make sure that we know which one on the left, which one on the right. Can anyone tell me, I put it this way, is wrong or right?
Backward，我哋而家睇佢後邊，睇嗰個錯咗。OK。
Oh, okay. I'm testing you guys. Okay, tell me, is it the right way?
I think no. I don't know. It should be this one on this side. This one. For Chinese, I read it from here to here.
Okay. This one is on my left, means on your right. This one is my right, means your left. Why? For two rules we need to go through. I need to explain a little bit more detail and let Bruce know about this first one, and very important. In Chinese, because especially Cantonese, the pronunciation for each character have 9 different rhythms. For example, we have, let's say, A, you can say A, 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 and so on. Some other sound in English you might not find it, but in Chinese we do. But the simple rules of thumb we have to remember: the lowest sound and the very highest pitch, that is called positive. Otherwise, the rest is negative. How I say that? For example, bottom, is the lowest sound, and sing, the highest sound. So only these 2 sounds you always put in the left-hand side when you face it. Okay, the rest is on the right. So what the rest of the sound means? The sound short, like cut. In English, but in Chinese, ji, ya. Those are the short sound. Or the rhythm like A in English. In Chinese, ji, ho. Those rhythm like that, they all called negative. 即係得聲，最低音、最高音係平聲。Okay, so Bruce, you understand that at least? So, like cut, vowel, door, all this kind of rhythm or sound being negative. Sing, bottom, all those are the positive. In Chinese, 平仄 only 2 ways. The lowest sound and the highest sound, 平. The rest is 得聲. Okay? So if you found something like 節、人、平同平 2 different sounds. Okay, you have to pronounce right. If you pronounce this wrong, it will not sound right. And also, the second rule is when Chinese write is from the right to the left. That's why the positive sound is always on the right, and then end up with the positive at the left. So that means 喜慶新春節. This is the 仄聲 is a positive. Mean like the sound in English, cut. It's all on the right. 笑型大有連 the lowest sound, the positive, on the left. Okay? Now this is the rule that we don't put it wrong. However, one exception, in mainland China, because they're using a lot of alphabet for pronunciation, for spelling, so they changing all the a lot of tradition, including the Chinese calligraphy. They write from the left to the right. They're no longer using the right to the left. So including this one, they put it the other way around. Because they read it from the left to the right. Okay? But I still want to keep everything as tradition. We read it from the right to the left. Put it this way. Okay? Now, since we all know that we have the first and the second, or the positive and the negative, then when you write something like that to give other people as a present, you need to know the recipient. Then you need to write the name. So the recipient's name, normally on the first mean your right hand side. So when you give it to someone, or the recipient should be in a higher position to show respect. So normally we would put in between the first and the second character somewhere here. You don't put too high, okay? Not too level, normally lower a little bit. If 7 character, normally between 1 and 2. But if 5 character, because the character is larger in font and lower, then you write normally in the bottom half of the first one, and you put the name. If, for example, someone asks you to write it for him, or request it, then you say, Judy Penn asked me to write. Or you want to give it to a gift, then Judy Penn keep it for memory. So this is kind of the prompt writing for people who receive your present as a respect. And then, where you go your name, because you want people to know who writing it, who giving out. Then the second side, the one on the left-hand side, normally you will write in between the third to the fourth, somewhere here. To put, you need to know what year you give it to people and what month. But in the old day, Chinese, we don't write down November 13, November 1st. We don't write that. We're using some terminology of each month to write on it. Like, for example, the beginning of autumn. Because each season, we have 3 months. So we have different names of each month. So if you like for September, normally they're using Yuhua, English, how to say that?
Chrysanthemum?
Yeah. You need to repeat again so Bruce can hear.
Chrysanthemum.
Okay, yeah. So represent the month of September. So that's how, so in autumn, so the first month of autumn, so what we are going to say that in Chinese, 孟子，对不对？第一个月的秋天的时候，孟子。So I have to say that in Mandarin, okay, Bruce, I don't know how to say that. It's the second month of autumn, 这个中。所以呢，以前那个孟姜女，她并不是孟，她是大，是第一个，有可能她就是大女儿，对不对？或者是
对，但是它不是正气。
不是正气，对对对。以前的人都是用这种称呼。我有一个朋友，仲民主的民，那你就知道他是这样第二个儿子，这个意思 ，OK？ 所以也有 ，also we using 24 terminology about the season to represent what time of the month. For example, now until next week. In Chinese, weather, climate, we already say, we already start guessing some foggy or slow snow flake coming. 叫做霜降、霜降，对不对？ We're using different type of name of the season to put on here, so people will know. Oh, that's the month of what week. They don't keep it every single day. So you put down the year, the month, and then sometimes you want to put the location, like in Toronto. You write down the name of Toronto, then your name will write it. Sometimes if you are the one who create the poetry yourself, then you just say you're the one who create the poetry, and you're also the one who write it. So it will deliver all the message that who is the recipient, why you give it to them. If they are older than you, how you gonna call them? Like give it to father, or younger brother, or younger sister, or a close friend. You have different type of relationship, like uncle. You put that on the right hand side, and then your signature on the left hand side. Okay? left hand side means your left hand side. So you know the year, the month, the location you write, and your own name, and after that you put your seal on it. Now, that's a complete. But sometimes you want to make it look a bit nicer, you would also like to put another seal on the next to the recipient that you give to. And normally it's between the recipient's name and the character that you write in between here. And now, one more, remember, make a note. When you want to put the seal, you don't want your seal larger than your signature. For example, your hand signature, your name, about the font, about the thumb, side of the thumb. That you don't put the stamp double the side of the thumb like this on it. It's wrong because from aesthetic point of view, it looks odd. And also, it's so outstanding people because the point is not your seal. That can let people know who you're writing. That's the rule that we need to know. I saw a few article or artwork out there. The signature about the finger like this, but he put the size like this on the seal. It looks very weird. Okay, so everyone have to remember that. Of course, there is some exception that I did mention last time when in my seminar. I'd say, for example, you write some of the big artwork, it can be the entire wall size. And then your signature, you cannot get your signature so big because some of the character about this big, you write the whole wall. But what can you do if everything is so big and your name signature just here and your seal just here? You want people to know about your name as well. So what I normally to recommend, then you can put a little bit more explanation to make it like a form up a template, a format, but leave an empty space here to have a bigger size of the seal. So make this like a whole set, but that's only exception. I'm not going to talk about detail of that. We need a lot of work on that one. That's, the rule of thumb is don't put your seal bigger than your own signature. Higher difficulty in the character like this. This one. With the top like a roofing. This actually is like a roofing cover. Now the word that I'm going to do is the word called the room. Now, the difficult for this one is, again, remember the center line I mentioned. Okay? So when you do the first dot, you need to go this way and make it big. You go and then turn back and then move this way down and up in here. This one the same thing. Then you go up then you come down. Now, when you come into here, I mentioned before, just say we don't have to worry. You don't have to go back and forth, whatever. As long as your brush all stay in here with the dark ink, you don't have to worry because no one's going to see it. But when you move, here will be heavier. Press down heavy, and when you move, you slightly lift up the brush a little bit. When you come to here, you give it a little bit press, and you will create the round here. And then you lift up, you move here, and then you press down, and then you lift up the brush, come back down and up. Remember that, right? Here the same thing. You go up, and then you turn, move this way, and return. Always you have a reverse, and then you come down here, you stay here, start from here, go back up, move the brush in the center, stop, and then you start from here, come back down, wrap up, then you will get this shape. And make sure when you do that, in your mind, you have to have the center line, always. Then you do the horizontal first, always horizontal first, okay? And then turn back, move this side, and then reverse. Now, you can start from here, up, and then turn back down, return. This one, press up, and then return here in the center, move. That way easier, okay? You get it, Bruce? So that's how you do this. So the second one, the same thing. We have two or three different ways of doing it. This one, I'll do the second one a bit longer. So this one, you do the similar thing. Now, this one, they go very long. And this is a very old way of doing it as well. Like I said, in the old day, this means the roofing, your house. That's why in Chinese calligraphy, safe, an, ping an, the an, you will see the roof cover and protect a room, a warm house for the woman to stay inside. Ping an, that's what the meaning. So you have two different ways. This one is a bit short, this one is longer. That's another different style. I want everyone to understand. But the way how you're using your method is very much the same thing. We turn down here, and then start from here. Come back down, move up, move here, press, return. This one here, move up to the center, here press down a little bit and then move and then return. This one similar to the silken hat. First come down, up, lift up, return. Okay. Now, since we have the angle of this diagonal stroke, I try to make this side, it's not the same angle like go side by side, the same angle. We have to make a little bit different. Let me draw the pen, the way how the pen run. Again, if you want to go down, we have to go up first, and then turn back down here, and press down, and stop here. Then you start from here. Go down first, and press up. We move to the center, and move your brush, light, and then start press. You don't go slow, suddenly down, but you press harder. And then you lift up, and then you return. Okay? Now, the proper way is not doing only the dot and then do the horizontal. Supposed to be do the dot, but this dot, you know what that means? That means this is the whole stroke come down. So it's supposed to be go up, return, down here, and move all the way. And then up, and then return. See, go this way. I purposely do it here with this end, but not like this, because I'm going to have this end here. So how you do that? Then when you go, come down here, you lift up. That means when you press down, to lift up, turn this way. Okay? Now, then you do this. Go up, down to the center, move up here. That's how it goes.
So first up, and then down, and then move over.
Yeah. after this and this, then you have the dot. This dot actually is also a kind of aesthetic in the way they come down here. Actually, it's a vertical stroke. But the style of these shoes, they put a dot here. Okay? Now, then the dot will start here. No matter what you do, remember the center line again. Now, you will ask me, say, Peter, it seems like this is not the center because this character moved back a little bit. Yes, correct. But when you see something like that, the whole character is not falling down. Why? Because the balance. How the balance? I'll give you an example. I stand with two legs width equal to my shoulder. It won't fall. But if you move this way, you're going to fall. However, I lift up my leg like this way, then I will not fall because the center, immediately the supporting point in the middle here. So this is the same thing. But the way it's supposed to do it for the center, you do it this way. See the center? Then you go this way. The center, the center, center. This one off a little bit because it's off. But the supporting point, for example, you straight forward, the straight line, the supporting force is in here. But if it's a little bit curvy, the supporting point is like this. But this is a weaker point. But as long as it's not too dome, it won't bend. These 2 points still can support, and that's what that means. I hope I explained that clear. Is it easy to understand that way, Bruce? If you straight line like this, you have no problem. But if you curve a little bit like that, it's no problem. But if you curve this way, no good, because it will bend. The same thing. You will see a little bit curved, but they are not too off. They still can stand by itself. But the proper, the very perfect supporting point is like this. The joint, the joint, the joint, the joint, they're all in center line. But sometimes, because calligraphy is handwriting, it's not a machine, it's not a structure building. You cannot measure perfect, like I said. You have to have similar space. But if you use a measurement tape, you will never get a perfect space because by hand. But as long as they look similar, they are not off too far. So that's what the beauty of the Chinese calligraphy. I want everyone to understand that. Oh, I write it a little bit too big, the founding. Then at the rest, I have to do the same thing. Otherwise, it's not look even. Normally, I don't do it this big. No, not yet. You can see I'm only using the tips, right? See, I'm pushing down. I don't pull. You have to watch all the detail. You hold it. I have to watch to see if they balance. That's why I'm thinking. I purposely make the left stroke a bit longer. Okay. Okay. You see, you have to put it side by side, and then you can see how high and how big the fonting. If you don't do that, you will get bigger and smaller font. See, I push up, I lift in the middle, then I move. Then I turn the brush, press down, move. You see, I purposely do different kind of the ducktail. This one bigger, thicker. This one more lengthy, right? So you don't want to every single stroke look the same. That one, they pull out a little bit. So that's why you make the difference. This one is very hard to write. The reason is you have to get enough space in the middle to write the sun character, but you easy to off in the center. And make sure the sun in the inside, the four corner got to close up. Now, the three dot, I do it up there, that way. So this time, I do it different. I don't want to give them the same. See, this one also different. The four dot, look at the four dot. They're all different.
Are yours?
Yeah, that's my dad picked.
Now this one I try to write a smaller font. The one that last time I did it too big. "怎么样？因为中国的字哈 we need to more space to bring up the character. That's why we don't write too big to cover everything. It looks so cloudy. See? In my mind, I have to focus to see the character here before I write.
How do you memorize the character?
Because I'm the teacher. Is that okay? Good answer?
Yeah.
Now, this one, I have to do it different. Normally, this one, up here, also another character called the mouth. But because of the bottom, they have the same thing. I don't put two mouth.
天高日鸟，
对，
一看就是年轻人的，对不对？你看我那个就已经 retired life。
That's funny.
嗯，
That's funny.
龙哥不需要太辛苦，对不对，龙哥？ Now remember, look at this one, okay? Everyone learned that in the class. Small, press up, go up. Do this one a bit thicker, that way. Mm-hmm.
我以后发展方向就是写甲骨文。
好啊。Mr. Ho is a specialist in Chinese, a very ancient old literature. Now I don't purposely don't make it too much space to cover because I need room here. If you go too far, you don't have enough room. This one is not that good. I know something wrong already. Can anyone tell me what's wrong here?
下面不够写那个了，舌头的舌。
三点水太高。对不对？三点水应该在这里，再上去。I just talk about that, Bruce. I just say the character here is not balanced because the three dots should be a bit shorter, lower here. The middle side should be up a little bit, then they will more balanced. Okay, but it's okay because this one is just for Alex to know. Oh, see. No, I just I can do that later on. Do it again. Okay.
就这个写高了才值钱了，
就不好看，
值钱了。
值钱了啊！就是看 Peter Lee can do the wrong one 。
Yeah, here's the proof. We take it.
棚是两点是3点，一个棚
2點，我哋廣東就
兩
2點。
兩點是嘛？
但你唔使企人邊。
我唔寫嗰個，
哦。
唔係我呢度咁多點寫嗰個啊，太多點。Okay, I'm talking about we have two different different way of writing this one because I have so many dots on the same time, so I do something different. See, I don't do the same one here because I don't want to have very much the same style. Now this one I do it a bit different. Quick. Okay. When you do it quick like that, you have to know where to stop and hold back. Otherwise, it will keep all the way go no good. "这个人不好，这个是损友。你看 I have to turn the brush because it's not in a good way, but that's why you can do that.
你都咁都寫到。
係啊。You see, if I don't go fast enough, you won't see this kind of thing so quick and fast move around. So when you want to watch other people to do it, from all this, you can tell are they go fast enough or not. And that's how you want to judge is that a good piece of finishing. Now this one, everyone learned that in the class, okay? We can do it another different way also. little bit. See, I'm turning the brush to get rid of all those hair. See, when you have control all the basic stroke or the standard, you can put anywhere how you run. That's why I said the basic standard foundation, you need to know and do it in a good way. Now, this is the challenge because the wind is a big one and the sun is a small one. You don't want to make it the same size like the wind, otherwise look odd. So you have to control, don't do it small because the character of the sun, they born with a small size. It's not a big guy like this guy. So I want to do like somewhere here, that will be good enough, okay? Now need to close. Remember, have to close up. Down, up, press down, lift up, slowly, press down, round up. So you have inside or round up. This one here is shining, that you need to make sure the top part here I'm doing is they are tight and close together. Otherwise, you will make it so bulky if you don't do that. Now this one, I do a little bit different at the bottom. I don't do 4 dot. I do the fire, the flame. You can do that. But for the fish, you cannot do that. The fish got to be the water. Remember? Okay, Alice. You see this stroke, I do it short. Why? Because you need to have some space for this guy. If you go all the way, it will too close. Also, you have to think before you do that. Now, doing this one, the finished stroke will be similar to this, so I have to do it different. So that's why I'm thinking in the head. Otherwise, you won't know what are you going to do. And they have the same size of this, so I do it a little bit different. I put a dot here, but this one I don't have it, so they look different. And because of this side, it's smaller. I do it smaller because on this side they have the character is wider, bigger.